Akon, who I didn't know until recently was apparently a polygamist. Is that a proper way to phrase it? If you have 3 wives and 9 children?
It's not legal to marry multiple people in this country yet, but I assume he just had like unofficial ceremonies with multiple women. Isn't
that what the sister wives thing is? Like one of them gets married legally and then the other one, it's just a religious ceremony?
Yeah.
Something like that? What's going on?
He's openly admitting that he is pro-polygamy in a recent interview with ZZ Mills. The interviewer, I was shocked, is she started on this topic saying that she doesn't believe men can be with just one woman. They can't be in a monogamous relationship, and he agrees. And the interviewer asks, do you agree with Nick Cannon and his spreading of his seed? If you're unaware, Nick Cannon is the father of 11 children with multiple women.
You know what this is?
He's like the sole reason that we're not going to be extinct as a species.
It's like this is like what this is. This is rich man's privilege. If there's a poor man that wants to do this, he can get paid for it by going to the sperm bank. And
true.
he could take. What he is he's being
Such
short-sighted.
A double standard.
No, what it is he's being done with his money. Like he could be getting paid for this, instead he's paying out. That's a problem.
Yeah. So here's how he responded. I agree with him 1,000%. That's how life is supposed to be. He's rich, responsible, takes care of every one of those children. The baby mothers are with it. They hurt for nothing, and they live comfortably.
I mean, isn't this what Elon Musk is doing with his 9,000 kids?
I was reminded of that, and in fact, that's why I kind of resent the way Akon racialized this issue.
Yeah.
Then the interviewer said, "What about the kids, though?" And Akon has said, "What about them? Nick is there for every one of them. He's there for every single one of those kids. I got 9 children, and I'm there for every one of mine." And then the interviewer says, "Every single time? You're at every single recital?" And Akon responds rather glibly, "No, that's a white man's thing. Who gives a F about a recital? Listen, my job is to raise my kids to be responsible, to be understanding, to protect their mother, to give a hand with their father, and to assist with family planning, and to be responsible adults.
It's funny.
My job ain't to be doing all that extra stuff, all these holidays and recitals and all that. Guess what? While I'm taking care of my responsibilities to make sure the family has a roof over their head and food, if I have time to do that, then yes, I will do that."
He's right about parts of it. He's right about wanting to raise the kids to be good people. He's just not right about, you also need to do more than just teach them specific life lessons and set up those types of boundaries and lessons that they have to learn. There's other things involved too, right? Is that a Western ideal that you only are there for the kids' recitals, and are you supposed to be there for all of it? Like, I believe that in the West, we believe that like it's very important that you should nurture your kids. Like my dad was a hockey coach on top of the fact that I played hockey, right? So he was there for that. Mm-hmm. That's important. Like, was that important to me? I don't know. I'm assuming it mattered to me.
It would, but the thing is, Brett, like it's something you only notice when you lack it.
Yeah.
And I think it's absurd that he would say, "Oh no, that's a white man's thing."
the racialization
he's putting
is stupid.
It down as something that's wrong with white people's family culture, and really, it's like a strength of those families when it does work like that.
And I suppose,
it's increasingly not even normal in different racial demographics, but like with Elon, for instance, he's even a unique example because he does most of his reproduction via IVF. So he's having children with these women in like test tubes.
Yeah.
And it's almost like an asexual reproduction thing for him that seems more like strategic than having to do with low impulse control. Like I've said before that I feel like Elon Musk,
the opposite of low impulse. It
seems
very, very planned.
I feel like Elon Musk, like if he could reproduce by like single cell like in a single cell organism way by like duplicating himself, then he would do that.
But
because the next best thing is doing IVF with a bunch of different women who work for his company, that's what he does. But like in Akon's case and in Nick Cannon's case, there's, I think, like all the talk of valuing family, but they're not actually willing to back it up with their actions. Like the easy part of that is getting pregnant,
but it's also
the hard part is staying for 18 years.
And the other thing is, like, first of all, he doesn't have any evidence that it works better this way, because I don't know how old those kids are, but they're likely not all full grown. And like, do you have examples of like which ones turned out? Like, it'd be interesting, like which kids turned out the most normal, and then which ones did you go to the most? Which ones did you go to their basketball games or their baseball games? Which ones did you go to their dance recitals? I also love that recitals are the childhood equivalent to George Clooney being the handsome man that we compare celebrities to. It's still recitals. It's not
has
like
to be mentioned.
It's like, I didn't go to my kid's TikTok. I didn't help my kid make his TikTok videos. That's what it would be like now, right? But like, it would be interesting to look at that. It's like, look, I didn't take it for granted. Like, I always had a parent there that was like, my dad took me to all the sports that I played. My mom and my dad both worked, but my dad was still involved in my hockey. My mom was it was actually a joke that like my mom, like if they wanted me to score a goal, my mom had to leave because she would never, like, I would never score. I wouldn't even know when she was there, but for some reason, like if she would leave to go smoke, I would always score. So they were like, they say go outside so Brett can, so it's like how do you know? How can he know yet whether it actually works? Because it's like, first of all, you're right. He's trivializing the emotional aspect.
Well, it's like material needs are the only needs that exist. Is just like
short-sighted,
factually false, short-sighted. And I think it's also bizarre that Akon would act like all of the men out there listening to this and like clapping for this take are in the same financial standing as him. They're most definitely not. Also, they most definitely aren't in any financial position to be providing for multiple families. But and then they are like clapping for this take because it absolves them of responsibility to do both. Like, no, you have no monetary or emotional responsibility toward your children. That's not what needs to be out in the media today, but like, it makes sense that they're bolstering a message like this because it's from a celebrity, and if a celebrity said it, well, of course it's true.
It's also interesting too because, like, from what I read, both I couldn't find anything on the women that Akon is married to, but the women that Cannon's married to seem to think he's a great guy. Like,
sure, but it's like that's some kind of that's a lifestyle that you opt into, and I don't think that makes them great mothers as well. I'm not absolving the mothers of responsibility either. I think that's to knowingly like have children with a man that already has multiple families before you. It shows that like you are okay with that. Like, you're basically complicit in that lifestyle, and that's what you want. But again, it's short-sighted, and I think probably these women are just like happy to be provided for materially, but
well, look at
don't value themselves enough to look for more than that.
Do you think the Kardashians make it to all the recitals?
I was just like watching this video of Kim Kardashian recently saying that she goes to painstaking effort to shield her children from all information regarding their family drama and the strife between her and Kanye. Ye. And she seems very confident that her children don't know any of these details. And I wouldn't be so sure. Like, she claims that she has, information about what the kids at their school talk about, and she claims that none of them bring up any of this stuff that cycles through the news with Ye. But like, I just wouldn't be so sure. And they also have, social media. At least North is on TikTok. Like, how do you not come across that when you're unsupervised on the internet? It's just very naive to think that. Celebrities also do not shield their children.
At their wealth level, there's nannies, there's assistants, there's a whole group of people that are raising their kids to do a job that in the average American family has to be done by just two people. You know, even then, like when you think about like how many family members used to be involved in the traditional raising of a child, you know, like the term it takes a village isn't just something you say. That's something that held true in a lot of cases. But for something like this, what's funny is like, Nick Cannon is also super racist. Like super
How
uber.
so?
He had a video a couple years ago that I don't think he ever even apologized for, where he basically talked about how like black people are the superior race. He's a Farrakhan dude. He loves
Yikes.
Farrakhan. And yeah, so he's got his own hot
I
takes.
think if you truly thought that, then wouldn't it make sense for you to have one strong, stable family unit that is self-contained and not pretend that you're the next coming of Genghis Khan? Like, it's just like a sad imitation of, you know, what a warlord used to be. And you're actually just like you're a rather like tepid and weak-willed media personality.
Yeah.
And I think that this is all just a big compensation for the fact that they've been emasculated. And, you know, that's another conversation. I don't think they're willing to admit that. But, like, this is, like, obviously behavior that's compensating for feeling emasculated.
So do we give Elon a pass? Like, does Elon get a pass because he didn't racialize it?
No, I don't think it's a racial issue. I think
no, it's not. I'm saying, but they made it a racial issue. It's stupid, but
sure.
It's a wealth issue for them. It's a wealth issue. It's just it's a class issue that it's obviously it's a social.
All of the tweets I saw in support of Akon's comments were from men that are definitely not nearly as well off as Akon. So he's speaking to an audience of people that just want to absolve themselves of responsibility. Elon, however, I don't think he would promote his lifestyle to people in the middle class at all.
Yeah.
I think he would say, like, no, that's stupid. But I think it's stupid no matter what wealth bracket you're in.
Yeah.
Because, I'm sorry, but, like, even monogamy with all its flaws, for people from any walk of life, it's the best thing we've got. And you kind of just need to, like, humble yourself and you know, not act like you found the secret ingredient to
It's also
life.
funny because one of the most common stories in all of Hollywood movies and television is the story of like a kid who comes from wealth, but dad was never there. And he grows up somewhat maladjusted and has to find his own way.
That's like such a trope,
because
right?
he didn't have a dad that was there to guide him, teach him right from wrong. And yeah, some of that is showing up to your recitals, or in this case, for guys, maybe it's more your sporting events or whatever it is that you're passionate about. It is not just the job of the parent to make sure that you can do that activity. It's the job of a parent to try to inspire you to become more involved in whatever it is. Like, well, the things that I love to do, my dad didn't just support that I did them. He also encouraged me to keep going, right? Like, it was actually a big issue. Not a big, it was like a thing. Like when I quit hockey, it kind of broke my dad's heart. Like, because he played hockey. He loved hockey. I loved hockey growing up, but I found skating. Skating became more important to me. I had to choose between the two. I picked skating. But he never stopped encouraging me from doing what I wanted to do because he was a good dad. Mm-hmm. So it is funny to watch them assume that money is a way to absolve you of your responsibility as a parent, that it's more than just financial duty.
Because then it causes even more interpersonal strife when they're fighting over who gets what.
Yeah.
Like who doles out the resources.
I still can't believe that Kanye has to pay child support. Like, that's crazy.
What was it again? It's like $200K per month.
At least it's not alimony. He's not paying alimony.
I mean, it's nothing to both of them. But it really still, ultimately doesn't matter.
Like, it's just funny to think that dude who just had his wealth cut more than in half is now paying.
It's probably just the equivalent of like tuition for their schools.
Like, he's paying the woman who wouldn't denounce Balenciaga because it might affect her bottom line. He's paying her money. Life ain't fair, dude.
Well, I mean, he stands with Balenciaga too, so I don't know what that's about.
Pass on that one. So I mean, I think you're right. The biggest problem here is not like do whatever you want. It's your life. I think you're probably screwing up your kids, but promoting it as a healthy lifestyle to people who can't actually afford it or have really thought it through seems like a very, very stupid thing to do.
Yeah. And that's all the people I saw applauding it. So
yeah. Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.